America at this point. So,
well, it's funny. My when I was very little, I would go to Arkansas in the summer to visit my grandparents who lived there, and a couple of times my grandfather, who's since passed away, brought me to visit old Grishams, right? Like his cousins and extended family. And that's when I learned that on my father's side of the family, they were like going back 4 generations, basically homesteaders, very poor people who were part of that whole process in the Midwest when it was literally like a land rush, like you've heard of like the Sooners, where the sooner you get there, in Oklahoma, you can claim it. That's basically
is that where the name Sooners comes from?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Well, random sports knowledge, if there's one thing that you can count on this guy to give you, it's that. So yeah, they were poor, dirt poor homesteaders in Arkansas.
Wow.
And and then on my mom's side, they're from Alabama, and her grandfather was like the town doctor in like this dirt poor Alabama town where they couldn't pay him, so they would like pay him in like chickens and stuff. It was wild times in Alabama and Arkansas in the 1880s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right. Well, that's been story time with Rich Grisham. We're live.
Oh boy.
By the way. Yeah. So hey, hello and welcome to episode 1017 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, May 26th, the year of our Lord 2026. I'm your host, Greg Seward. Not with me as always this week is Chris CJ Johnston, who's feeling a little under the weather and decided that he didn't want to subject anybody to whatever's happening there. So in his place, I think we've traded up personally. We have Player One podcast super fan and official historian.
Yes.
Let's say.
Sure.
Rich Grisham.
Hello. Hi, Greg.
Welcome, Rich. Welcome back.
Great to be here. I'm sorry under the circumstances that CJ isn't here. When CJ first messaged me, he's like, would you be willing to be on I started typing yes before I even read the rest of the message. And then it took me a minute. I was like, oh, he's also saying he's not going to be on there. So I hope you're okay, CJ. Honored to be stepping in. I'm not stepping in for him, but honored to be here. And I will say also, I know Phil leaving was traumatic. I know Satan leaving has been even more traumatic.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
But I just want to say again, for the 10 billionth time, thank you guys for making this show. Thank you for keeping it going. Because in a world gone crazy, Greg, I need this show. This is like my one little 2-hour haven of happiness every week. So please, keep it going. We love it.
We're doing our best. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. So CJ, not feeling well. I was going to say it's been a while since you've been here, but I mean, weren't you here like 17 episodes ago?
Well, Phil left because I showed up that time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You're welcome. And I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss Satan and Sam Raimi. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just jump right into it because we do have a little bit of I'm just going to say we do have a little bit of a time limit tonight. It's not bad. We got about 90 minutes here if we want it. And the reason why is because you happen to mention Phil, and we got a very special after show coming up tonight for $5 plus patrons. Or if you're listening to this show 2 years into the future, it's probably free right now on YouTube, where one Mr. Phil Theobald is going to be joining us.
Amazing.
For the after show.
I mean, that's probably the best news we've heard around these parts for about 13 or 14 episodes.
There you go. So yeah, but we're on a strict schedule because I mean now that he's gone, he's worked to rule. He doesn't do more than he has to. So
he's known for being very, very punctual.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's a union delegate. That's what's happening. So hey, let's just jump into some news here, Rich. Which Phil's behind a paywall exactly. News that mostly has been provided by the lovely Chris CJ Johnston. But a couple things that I wanted to call out here because I'm interested if you're interested in this stuff. There's a new State of Play coming on June 2nd. So next week that they've announced where they're going to be talking about Marvel's Wolverine. Now, is that something you're interested in? Have you been? Are you a Spider? Have you been a fan of the Spider-Man games that Sony's done? Or
I love the last two major Spider-Man games that were released. I think it was one of them. I think was just called Spider-Man.
It was,
and then there was the Miles Morales, which I also liked a lot. I don't say I loved it, but I liked it a lot. It's just because it was just sort of more of the same.
For sure.
I liked it. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one after that, right? Another proper Spider-Man
2.
That I certainly like. So the long answer is done. The short answer is yes, I'm very interested in this game.
Good. All right then. Yeah, me too. I mean, this has been a big year for games so far. I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but because I don't really know what you play anymore, Rich. I know. I'll tell you what. I know you play NCAA football.
Mm-hmm, I do,
because I get the Twitch notification.
Yes,
right after I go to bed every night.
Yes,
you play a lot of NCAA on Twitch.
I'm in an online league. It's, to me, NCAA football and Madden are, to me, what iRacing is to you, right? Like, that's my thing that I do with my online sports game friends an hour or two a week. And so my NCAA is an online league that I'm in. So, so every 2 to 3 days we advance, and then every 2 to 3 days I play my game. And as part of it, you're supposed to stream just in case things go bad.
That's a good idea.
You can always go back and be like, oh, I was ahead 31-3 with 10 seconds left and the game cut out. Commissioner, you can award me a win, something like that. So, yeah.
As my son moves into, so he's I'm going to get totally off track, but I know that you are into the stuff like this more than
getting
CJ
off track.
is.
I'm great at getting off track.
So my son moved into Junior A lacrosse this year. He made a Junior A team this year, which is fantastic. It's very exciting. But it's absolutely a different world. I don't know if your kids are into organized sports at all, or
my nieces are like championship level softball players.
Oh, well, there you go. So, my whole life as a sports parent has been, he's never played at a really highly competitive level. I mean, he's made a couple of years in different sports here and there.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, it's sort of rec level or maybe, B level sports, which is a totally different beast than playing something like a Junior A or a competitive level.
Your kid is a professional athlete now, period.
Exactly. And so it's been quite a switch. Quite a switch up this year. I'm paying to go to games now, and there's just all this. There's all kinds of different things. And you know what? I totally forget the point I was about to make. But anyway, just saying, it's a hell of a switch up. And actually, I've called this out in our channel, but I want to call this out to our listeners in case our patrons are not in the patron hangout on our Discord. And why aren't you? We put aside a little bit of Patreon fundage every year to sponsor one of my kids' teams every year. With there's a few of them, and that is the team that the Player One podcast is sponsoring. Every time I wish I had one of the programs here, but our logo's on the back of the program.
That's so great.
And during the first intermission of every game,
I'm sure it's generated tens of listens.
Of listens. I don't know. That's being a little generous.
It's not the point, though.
I like to point out that I love that we have a strong enough community that we can do something like that. We can support that stuff. So
yes,
I really wish I remember the point I was trying to make. But anyway,
Wolverine, organized sports.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so because one of the things about that level of sport as well is that the games are broadcast. Now, I mean, up until now, different parents tend to broadcast all these games.
Sure. Yeah.
But one of the reasons why they're broadcast at this level is because the officials need the record of the game. And the reason I bring it up, the reason it reminded me, is because I just picked my son up from practice tonight, and our two best scorers are both suspended upon review of the game tape earlier this week. So.
Got it. Okay.
So go. Good times. I was in. I'm just going to go on a further tangent. I love it when you're here, Rich, because I can talk about sports, and I know our listeners love that.
Yes.
But speaking of that, so I went to broadcast school. These 20 years ago, I think it was now about 20 years ago. Yeah, because my daughter's about to turn 19. So She was born while I was going to the school. And one of the things that we did is we were actually the official radio broadcasters of the local junior A hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that we did is a few of us would go take cameras there and record video of these games where then we would put together, like we would, cut together packages and put them up on the local cable as a sports, basically was to practice working for like an ESPN or a TSN or something like that.
Yep.
And there was a brawl one night, and it was a big one, and it was big enough that our footage actually got on TSN, which is ESPN up here.
Is this hockey or lacrosse?
It was hockey.
Okay. Brawls make a lot more sense in hockey than lacrosse.
Well,
okay.
It happens in lacrosse a fair amount now too. But but no, anyway, we were on like Sports Center and everything like that. Our footage was on Sports Center. But the reason I'm even thinking about it is because it was all planned, and the local team had decided not to record their game that night, or they decided they'd forgotten to record the game that night.
Okay, so it was planned but not staged, right?
Right.
So that,
it wasn't staged.
So there was real anger behind the brawl.
The play. Yeah, the plan was to beat the crap out of somebody. And so they didn't record the game, but they'd forgotten that we were there with our cameras. And me and the other guy who were holding the cameras were dragged into the manager's office at the end of that game and basically told to lose our tapes. So that became the story. We were all over the news.
Like, I was
up all night doing interviews, television interviews, radio interviews. I was on. Yeah, it was great.
First of all, like, maybe you're just a lot tougher than I am. Your son is clearly tougher than I am because he's
tougher than me too.
But as a parent, to me, that would be frightening to be watching a brawl.
Yeah, no, and he this was before he was born. It wasn't him. It was just the junior A hockey team 20 years ago.
Got it. I missed that.
But anyway, just years ago. Yeah. thinking about recording games. No, Scepter Rob in the chat. It was not the Halifax Mooseheads. That is a Quebec Major Junior team. This was the Halifax Wolverines. Speaking of Wolverines, look, we brought it back around to State of Play. Wolverines.
There it is. Look at that. Beautiful.
They no longer exist. Anyway, moving on to some of this other news here. I'm going to skip a couple of these things, but
hold on. Before we do that, you're excited for Wolverine, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. This is one of your, 3 or 4 most anticipated games of the year, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a huge fan of what they've done with Spider-Man. All 3 of those games are way up there for me. I don't mean, Spider-Man's a great character. Wolverine's a great character. And I'm so curious to see what they're going to do with this guy.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So I am not a comic book guy, right? I know, obviously, I'm a guy born in, the United States in the 20th century. So I'm certainly aware of lots of comic book stuff, but I'm not deep in the space. Is the best. There were 2 fun things about Spider-Man to me at the top, right? Number one is just getting around the city, flying around, spinning, jumping, and being on top of, the Empire State Building and stuff. And then there was the great combat.
Yep.
So I can certainly imagine one of the great things about Wolverine will be the great combat, but they won't have him flying around, swooping around in Spider-Man. So I'm also kind of curious how that part of big thrill, like a core, just fun part of that game not being there, what will replace it, or what will
Yeah, me too. That's the thing that I'm really curious about as well, because you're right. To me, and we've talked about this extensively on the show, one of the best parts about the Spider-Man games is the traversal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They made web swinging so much fun. Where to the point that I know CJ did, but I never used quick travel at all.
I hardly ever did.
Because it was just fun to go from one end of the map to the other, right?
I'm talking about getting sidetracked. I mean, you're like, all right, I'm going to go do this. Oh, wait, look, there's a shiny thing I need to collect. Yeah. Oh, wait, here's the thing. Here's a fight happening. Oh, there's a soul.
Exactly. So I am really curious how they're going to do this as well. I think in an earlier teaser, they showed him on a motorcycle or something. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I have faith in them. I mean,
I totally do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not worried at all. I'm looking forward to it. I've also have looked at no coverage. I'm not going to watch the state of play. I'm there when it ships. I'll be there ready to go. But I have faith, and I'd rather go in knowing as little as possible than trying to devour all the stuff that the marketing stuff.
I'm with you, but I'm definitely going to watch the State of Play because I'm so excited for this thing. Speaking of traversal, though, and moving around in an open world, apparently Sega's finally teasing the new Crazy Taxi. Finally,
and this is and they're trying to have people stop talking about how the fact that they sort of put away that notion of the great
super
game or the super game.
The super game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I went back and kind of looked up that super game, and I think that was like a partnership with like Rovio. So I think it was just going to be like a mobile game.
Rovio, that's the Angry Birds?
That's
people?
the Angry Birds people, yeah.
Okay.
Sega bought them.
Okay.
Did you remember that?
No.
Me neither.
Listen, every game company has bought every other game company in the last 10 years, mine included, right? So, I don't know who owns what anymore.
So they announced that there was going to be a new Crazy Taxi in 2023. If you remember, Sega announced that they were redoing a lot of franchises back. I think it was 2023 when they did this, where it was like Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, and Shinobi. I think those were the 5.
I mean, that makes so much sense, right? Like,
right.
It's a great. You should be developing new stuff, but bring back all of those old franchises if you can.
Well, absolutely. But the thing was that I think since then, Shinobi's come out, and I think they were dead quiet on absolutely everything else for 3 years now. So, but apparently the Crazy Taxi X account, Twitter account, I'm assuming, which has been dormant since 2019, posted a clip this past week. It's not much of a clip. It's 5 seconds. It's literally a picture of a taxi sign lighting up on a convertible. For 5 seconds.
A lot of messaging in that, though,
right? And
is the light turning on or going? It's being turning on. Okay, that's good. That's good.
So I mean, there's life. There's some life.
Oh shoot! I can see them. I can hear them. Who's the band? You'll know the band, the song. The licensed song.
Offspring.
Was the Offspring playing in the background? Because that would have been the perfect audio for that.
We had that conversation about that, I think last week or the week before, because I'm of the opinion, like, the first Crazy Taxi, masterpiece. Since then, they've gotten worse. I feel like Crazy Taxi 2 wasn't as good. I feel like Crazy Taxi 3 wasn't as good. I think there might have been another one. But I think you can't downplay how important the soundtrack was to the first Crazy Taxi.
Not at all.
To the experience, right? You take that, not saying it still wouldn't be a good game, but you take that soundtrack out. It was Offspring and Bad Religion were the 2 bands. And you take those songs out of that game and it's not as good.
Bad Religion is underrated. They have some
absolutely songs. And I think there was 2 songs they had in that game and they were both bangers. So yeah. But anyway, there's life. There's something happening. Sega's starting to, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully there'll be some information on Crazy Taxi coming up.
Man, trying to revive trying to revive the magic of a game like that has got to be one of the toughest things to do. It's because you can't articulate what makes that so much better than 2 or 3, but it's just there, right? It's just there. It's a different experience.
And I think the other danger for a lot of these games is it's hard to factor in how important time and place was. You know what I mean? Like Crazy Taxi is a great game. Don't get me wrong. But was it a great game because it came out in 1999?
You probably have this conversation with your kids all the time, but I am always trying to I'm always trying to tell my son, you gotta believe me, Nevermind completely took over the world for like 60 days. Like, we listened to that album a couple of weeks ago. He's like, it's okay, kind of samey. And by the way, as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking exactly the same things. But at that time, in like October, November, December 1991, Nirvana's Nevermind was the world's biggest thing, right?
Well,
so it's a time and place thing, to your point, right? Like, there's just some things that are really of their time, and and it's really probably close to impossible to get that spirit back.
And I think also, I mean, you're talking about Nevermind, but I think this fits with games too, time and place as well. But you talk about an album like Nevermind, and it was hugely influential. So I mean, we've been listening to things for 25 years now that were influenced by that album, and it has improved upon what was heard in that album. 100%. So of course, it doesn't sound quite as groundbreaking as it was.
And I still feel it when I hear it. I still feel it. When I hear the opening drum beat to Smells Like Teen Spirit, I'm just like, oh man, I remember the first time, because I was, those were some good years for your boy Rich, 90s.
Right? I think that was for most of us who were in LA. So I should say most white guys, most straight white guys were.
And I still remember I was at the university.
I don't want to speak for everybody.
And the band lit into that song. And when I tell you the room exploded, people just lost their minds. It was so exciting and different and new. And man, I'll never forget that feeling. Like it's just a feeling that doesn't happen very often, and happens less and less now because the way that we consume and disseminate
is so different.
Is so different as well. Yeah. It still does happen, but not, like
not
now
the same
it's Pokemon
way.
Go, right? It's just a different thing where there's a moment.
I've many times talked to my kids about music discovery, because my daughters especially have both discovered albums. They've both discovered that they enjoy,
oh my gosh,
finding new music via albums and not, you know what I mean? I mean, they still discover music the way their friends do, but they like to go buy albums and listen to them. And I was like, this is how we used to do it, man. Dude. Like, this was the way.
My son, not a sports kid, music kid. So in the last year and a half to 2 years, he has discovered vinyl. And so every couple of weeks,
with my youngest,
every couple of weeks, we go to the Princeton Record Exchange and we buy vinyl. And now we buy CDs, because both of my vehicles are so old. How old are they, Rich? They're so old that they have perfectly functional CD players. So now we've got. I'm just living. He's bringing new music to me, and I'm bringing my music to him, which I've always done ever since he was little. But now it's a two-way street, which is amazing. But he has got a very impressive vinyl collection and a very impressive CD collection. And it's so cool.
Oh, it is, right?
It's also very expensive, but not as expensive as having a kid who's really good at lacrosse. So I'm feeling a little better about that. But I told him, this past year was his first year at college. And I said, listen, if you do well in college, your first, your fall and spring semesters, I'll take care of you. I'll get you a summer job, right? Doing something with my organization. Again, if you do your end, you do your part, I'll do my part. And, I'll buy you some records over the summer. We'll have some fun. Not thinking in a million years he'd go make the honor roll both semesters. Well, what was he doing? He made the honor roll both semesters. So here I am, schlepping out to the record exchange every 2 weeks, buying him 2 vinyls, which are pretty expensive. But yeah, it's a great thing.
It's funny. And boy, are we ever aging ourselves? We both have university freshmen, college freshmen.
Yes, we do.
But actually, speaking of that, because my daughter's first year, she's gone to a college that's about an hour away from here.
Yep.
And so, I go up every few weeks to go up like on a Sunday morning to take her to breakfast and just to visit and that sort of thing.
My son's 45 minutes away, so almost the same.
Yes, about the same.
Yep.
And when the first time I was out there and I took her to breakfast, she's like, there's this really great used record store in the next town over. And I mean, I like to collect vinyl. I don't collect a lot of it, but I do, and
my favorite stuff. I like to have my favorite stuff.
Exactly.
Because I don't collect, because I actually stopped collecting just like you did, because collecting it just piles up, and eventually you're like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So, I like having the really good stuff. Like my favorite music, I now have vinyl CD, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. I like that.
Yeah. But that just became kind of a thing for us. Like when I go down, we don't do it every time, but it's like, let's stop at the record store.
Absolutely.
Sort of sift through it. And
it's so much fun.
Best.
So much fun.
It's the best.
Yeah.
We were talking about video games. We should talk about, this is a video game podcast. Oh, this is great. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about as well is, and I wanted to call out, I don't know if you've crossed paths with with Victor Lucas at all?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of his.
You're a fan of his.
If I hadn't already been a fan of his, I would have become through Player One Podcast, because most things video game that I am a fan of are through the show, right? And I'm not even joking. Like, I've been listening to you guys for so long. You pretty much guide me to where I'm going to go video game wise. And through the guests of your show, I've certainly, I would have known Victor, but I've known him from ever since in the States. I got to know him through what was called Electric Playground. Right? Yeah. That's what I got to know.
Yeah, that was sort of his first endeavor, but Vic's been going strong now since the 90s.
Right.
And the reason I wanted to bring him up is that, because we have what's up here. We have the Canadian Game Awards, which just happened this past week. And want to call out too, because it was a game that did really well on our top 5 list last year. South of Midnight absolutely cleaned up. It got Game of the Year, Best Art Direction, Best Score, Best Narrative, Best Audio Design, Best Console Game, and Compulsion won Studio of the Year.
And you guys, that is one of the games on my list to play because of all of the great things that you guys have said about it.
Yes, it's fantastic. And I was so happy to see it. And I also wanted to call out, because CJ, while he's not here, is listening, one of his favorite games, Wanderstop, actually won Best Indie Game of the Year in the Canadian Game Awards as well. Yeah. So, which, although big shame, because the studio doesn't exist anymore.
I didn't know they got closed down.
He shut down. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrible. I missed that.
Bittersweet, but
bittersweet.
Anyway, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Tragic.
So, but the reason I was bringing up Victor Lucas is because Vic won. He won Best Content Creator, which was hilarious because Vic is our age. I don't know if he's
TV before you guys were even born.
I don't know if he's in his 50s, but if he's not, he's awfully damn
better
close.
Be. Victor Lucas, there's no way you're not at least in your 50s.
He's a fellow gray hair, but he it's so funny because that content creator, I was watching it, and the category, there's Vic, and then there's a bunch of people who are like in their 20s.
Yes, exactly.
Right? He got up on stage to accept, and I don't think he expected to win the award, and he was just like, I feel like I'm everybody's uncle standing up here. But
I'm not technically sure what a content creator is.
Right. But the thing I wanted to bring out, I wanted
Lifetime Achievement Award for me here?
Well,
it must be, right?
So actually, there was. That's what he was actually there for.
I
think it was the first Game Changer Award, but it's basically a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I just wanted to sort of call it out because Vic's a great guy. He's a friend of the show. I looked it up. It's been 2 years since he's been on the show, but he's, CJ and I have both known him. We're running the same circles as him for years. I mean, we're not close, but what I want to point out is
him, he knows you, right?
Right.
That's
and
clear.
Vic is one of those guys. First of all, he's a tireless champion of the video game industry.
Yes, he is.
He's very passionate about games.
Yes.
And it comes across in everything he does. He's a champion of the Canadian video game industry, which is, makes it even more dear to my heart. Yep. But he's one of those guys that when you come across him, he has this way of making you feel like the most important person in the world. He's just genuinely warm and kind. And I like to tell, so there's a story. When I first started working at Ziff Davis, I was 23. And I think by the time I'd gone to EGM, if I wasn't 24, I was pretty close to 24. And the first press junket I ever went to with Ziff Davis was out to California. Ziff Davis was based in Chicago. And so I'm sitting there on a bus. I didn't know anybody, right? The only people I knew in the industry were the people I worked with, were the people at Ziff Davis. And even then, I'd only known them for less than a year. And I remember I knew who Vic was. I'd never met him. He got on the bus we were on, and he sat down next to me, and he turned and talked to me for what felt like forever. And he had read my work. He knew my name. He made me feel like the most important person in the room. And every interaction I've ever had with the man is like that. Like he streams pretty regularly on Twitch, and I don't go very often, but when I do and I say hello, he'll stop and call me out by name, talk about, hey, this is a Canadian games journalist. He's been doing this a long time, and you should go check out his, like, he's just that kind of guy. So I just wanted to call out that he got this award because it was very deserving. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He absolutely deserves all the accolades. I love that he's still going.
Not only still going,
Yeah.
but like he might be making the most content of anybody out there. Like
Right.
he's got like he makes a lot of stuff because
He does.
every time I click on his name, right? Because I will do that 3 to 10 times a year because he just pops up in stuff that I'm looking at.
Yep.
He's all over everything, and he's got new stuff. So yeah, he's probably producing more now than he ever has. It sure seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, he stayed the course, and now he's also unlocked his extensive library of old shows. Every Saturday they release a new one because he's partnered with a university up in Ontario that are upscaling his old shows. So every Saturday morning,
oh, what a great project to work on.
They release a new episode or a new old episode of Electric Playground and Judgment Day, which was the reviews, like it was basically reviews on the run, but it's called Judgment Day.
Him with Tommy Tallarico.
Yep. Yeah. So
who would complain about footstep sounds in every episode that I remember? Every single episode.
Tommy had some interesting gripes about games.
Tommy's made me aware of some things I would not have been aware
of. But anyway, I just wanted to call that out. And you should check out, by all means, check out Vic's stuff. It's youtube.com/EPNTV. He's, his new stuff and his old stuff, all worth watching. Again, a guy who deserves your support. So yeah, just wanted to call that out. Congratulations, Vic.
Congratulations, Victor Lucas. I'm a big fan of yours too, sir.
There you go. I'm sure he's listening. Probably not, but I hope he is.
I think he listens. I mean, he I don't know how. He knows who you are and he respects who you are, which is amazing. But there's probably a lot of people who listen as soon as the episodes go live. But I'm actually usually 1 or 2 episodes behind, and I like that because that lets me know that okay, I can go on like a 3 or 4 hour binge if I want to. I'm never more than 2 episodes behind, just because I don't want to get that far back. But sometimes I like having like a little, like a 1 or 2 episode buffer just in case I want to, just sort of lock in for, a long marathon session on the treadmill or something.
Treadmill. Damn. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that you do that.
Oh dude. I at least 4 times, 4 days a week, I will walk between 2 and 2.5 miles on the treadmill playing video games.
I don't know how you do that. I can't keep my balance while I can't stare at a screen and play a video game while I'm walking on a treadmill. I've tried it.
So, number one, I've been doing it for so long. And I actually have very bad ears and very bad, I have a balance vertigo situation and a hearing situation. So I would actually probably be the last person that would be able to do it, but I walk at an incline of 8. So I'm going at an incline of 8, but it's a speed of 3.8. So you're walking, you're not even
running,
not even sort of getting close to jogging. You're walking at a good pace. But yeah, it's just, I'm able to do it without any problems. And I bet you could too. You got to give yourself a little, practice, a couple of minutes, on a very slow speed. But I'm telling you, there's no way that I would be even remotely close to, being in anything resembling decent shape if I didn't do that 4 or 5 times a week. Because, I hate exercise. I hate the concept of exercising. I hate the fact that you have to exercise. The fact that I can do that while playing a video game is literally, is the reason I'm alive. I'm sure. Like, I'm not even joking.
Do you do it while you're playing your NCAA tournament games?
Typically NCAA or Madden or NBA 2K, because, it's hard first of all, if you're trying to play online against, a first person shooter or something would be insane. Right. I have tried other genres, but because sports games, you can really sort of define, I like to go for 35 to 40 minutes long. So I'm able to find the settings in a Madden and an NBA 2K where I know that a typical game will last 30 to 40 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I set the quarter length to a certain amount and set the, and it takes a couple times. And once I find that and get it in a zone, I literally just sort of get in that zone and I do that. So it's typically one of those 3 games, and I'll play. I just finished like my 9th season of Madden. I play a season as a team and then just start a new season as a new team. So I played like this past season, like 9 times with different teams. Sometimes I win the Super Bowl, sometimes I don't, but it's it's just a really great thing to be able to do. And like I said, there's, if I didn't do that, I would weigh twice as much as I do right now, because I eat and drink whatever I want to. So if I didn't get those 2 miles in 4, 5, 6 times a week, it'd be a bad situation.
So hey, that's a good segue into what you've been playing.
All right.
What else have you been playing?
So the big game that I've been playing, or the game that I've been playing the most, the game that I can't really stop playing, Greg, it's called Vampire Crawlers.
Oh.
And there's more to it. There's a turbo in there.
Yeah.
There's a made-up word in there, I think. And then it says something about vampire
survivors. Yep.
So I love Vampire Survivors. I lost a couple of months of my life to that game. That was a treadmill game, by the way. That is a great treadmill game.
I can imagine.
The only problem with that game is after 35 to 40 minutes, when you're done, your run might not even be close to being done.
It's true.
So you got to square up. Like, when Kevin Larrabee was on, I was arguing with him during the podcast. He didn't know that I was arguing with him, but I was arguing with him.
You were the old man yelling at the speaker.
Yeah, because he's making all these statements. So I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Why is CJ not pushing? Why is he not questioning this, right? I decided in my mind that I can only stop the treadmill when the game is done, right? Which is nice, knowing you got, if I'm playing a game of football or basketball, the game's going to end. It might go to overtime, but it's going to end.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors, that thing might not end for a while. So that's why I couldn't play. After I got to a certain level in that game, I couldn't play it anymore because I might go for it. Anyway, Vampire Crawlers. Wow, what a great experience. The first time I played it, I was like, ugh, this is not Vampire Survivors, or what I
not remotely.
Not, and so I was like, nope, I'm gonna nope out of it. And then I tried a couple other games based on what you've been playing, which I'll get to in a little bit. But then I'm like, you know what? Vampire Survivors was so good. I need to go back to Vampire Crawlers. And the second time I played it a little bit more. Third time I played it is when it clicked. Yep. And I've been playing it ever since. And I thought that I was good at it. It tricked me. Because at first I'm playing the game, playing the battles, when you're going and you're battling the different, creatures in the different areas, right? Mm. I didn't even have a strategy or plan. I'm just pressing the button. I'm hit X, play all. I'm blowing stuff up. I'm getting rid of all these creatures I'm collecting.
Oh, you're the guy who uses the play all button.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every time I see that on the screen, I'm like, who in their right mind would use that button?
Would do that? Yeah, I'm just play it all, and I'm doing fine. And then, eventually when I get to the end, I'm going back to the area where I can say, I can go to the hotel and meet the characters, or I can go to the shop. So I'm having it. It's fun. It's cool. And I beat the first couple, 2 or 3 levels, and then I get to a new area, and I then very quickly I'm not winning. I'm dying. And I'm like, oh, all right. I did that 2 or 3 or 4 more times in a row where I very quickly died. I'm like, all right. So I don't like to look up stuff about games I'm playing.
Sure.
But it was either that or I kind of like, I might not be able to play this anymore. So I just Googled tricks for Vampire Survivors, Vampire Crawlers. And it's like, and this isn't a spoiler, but it's basically, right at the very top, it talks about, make sure you line up your cards by mana, as if I should. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Now, people who actually play video games, like smart people, would probably just inherently know this. But I'm Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K guy. So, what do I know? So then I start throwing the cards out in battle, in order to 0, 1, 2, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 like the screen's lighting up. I'm like,
doing combos.
Whoa, look at this. This is me. Check me out. Aren't I awesome? So then I blast through 2 or 3 levels and just lighting everybody up. I'm going in the town. I'm buying all the different characters. I'm not paying attention to what they do or what they help me with. I'm buying all this stuff. I'm blasting through, And then I get to this 3rd level of, some like a house, a haunted house.
Yep.
And there's 2 little slots next to my name when I don't know what that all means. And I go in and I'm dying again. So now I'm where, okay, Now I have to, whatever the next thing I need to learn to be able to move forward. I haven't learned that yet. So that's where I am right now with Vampire Killers.
For me, that the key to that was splash damage.
Okay.
Because it'll start hurting enemies that are rows behind the enemies you're fighting.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I found there's one character. By the way, everything you just said is not that far away from my experience either.
Okay.
I talked about this a couple weeks ago because when I first started, I mean, I understood the idea of the combos and playing like gradually, like 0, 1, 2, 3 as far as mana goes, but for some reason, I interpreted that as like you have to play all your zeros and then all your ones and all your twos, and that's absolutely not how it works.
Right.
It took me a while to figure that out, but once I did, yeah. But there's a character, I forget his name, but he's a skeleton, and I found his base cards quite good.
Okay.
For getting through some of the more difficult levels. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear you're playing it because I am really enjoying that game a lot.
It's so good.
So yeah,
it's so good. And I really still don't have any real idea what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, but it sure is a lot of fun. And I love the look. Like I did not love the look at the start, and now I love the look. Going from top down, to old school third person was very disorienting for me.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad you're playing it. Glad to hear it. You're among friends.
I love it. Here. I'm also playing, based on hearing you talk about it, the Xbox game. Now, I wrote it down, but I lost it. The Game Pass game where you're always running to the right. Replaced. I'm playing Replaced.
Oh, Replaced.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How you liking it?
I like it. Vampire Crawlers totally took over.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was playing it wrong because for a while I'm just running to the right for a lot, and I feel like I'm doing this wrong.
You're not, and
good.
I think because that game to me is quite a mix of something like, say, a Flashback, the old game Flashback. But it definitely does that thing that I find more. I don't even know how to describe these kinds of platformers, but I'm thinking along the lines of like Neva or Neva's the one that comes to mind actually, where in Neva you'll spend long periods of time just running to the right, and it's to set a mood, it's to set an atmosphere, I think anyway. And yeah, Replaced is definitely one of the games that does that. Although they tend to do it a lot less in later levels.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I was real. I probably played it for about 90 minutes, which is not that long. But at a certain point, I was like, have I like just missed a whole bunch of stuff? Because it was that like in my face that I'm just really just running in one direction and interacting with very, very, very little. But a couple of the people told me exactly what you said, which is that really does change significantly. But it's a very interesting. It looks great, sounds great. I like the setting. Like you guys have already spoken about it, so I'm not going to repeat. But Replaced definitely fun. But Vampire Crawlers, for at least the last week, has been the main thing. But I have also been go ahead before
No, I was just going to say too, the other thing with Replaced, and I really dig Replaced. And I mean, as a big Blade Runner fan, and Cyberpunk fan, it does a lot for me. But having said that, it's definitely run out of steam. It's sitting there sort of on my backlog where it's like, I should really pick that up again and finish it because I feel like I'm close.
Okay.
But I'm not super compelled to do it.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, it's kind of it's really petered out for me, to be honest. So
there's so much competing for all of
that's
our
true too.
attention.
So much. Yeah.
So much. Yeah. And then just in games, much less anything else. But one other game I did want to mention that I'm playing, I don't know how I heard it because I'm not as nearly as tuned into the things that I was tuned into 10 and 15 and 20 years ago in terms of AAA games and big new releases and the like. But somehow I heard that Star Trek Resurgence was being delisted.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And I don't know why, because most times something like that I'll see and I'll just, but I tapped on it and I saw that it was basically a Telltale game.
Yeah, sure.
And so I said, oh, well, I did not know there was this game. And now it's being delisted. Oh, no. So I quickly, like that day, I went to my PlayStation 5. It was still listed there. So I bought Star Trek Resurgence, and I'm playing that on the PS5. I don't know if it's listed anymore. So I apologize to anyone who's like, oh, this sounds awesome. Oh, I can't get it. Thanks, Rich, you big jerk. But it is a Telltale game set in the Star Trek world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Star Trek world it is, meaning I'm not like a Star Trek person. You know, I know the original series and I know the Next Generation. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you guys talk about Deep Space Nine. That's the extent. But you've talked about Deep Space Nine quite a bit. So I at least feel like, you know, I'm in touch with the vibe of that show a little bit. But one character that is in it, and hopefully this is not a spoiler, is Spock, like the real Spock.
Well, I mean, Spock's been in every Star Trek thing ever. So the character keeps coming back. I just looked it up. It's this is the Star Trek universe after Star Trek Nemesis.
Okay, there you go. And I know this is the third time I've said it, but it's a Telltale game, and I love Telltale games, and you know, all games that aspire to be Telltale. Even if you're not any good, I still like you for trying because I love me a good tap. Oh, branching paths, you know. I mean, Detroit Become Human is, in my opinion, one of the greatest video game accomplishments of all time. Because
I could see that if you like those kinds of games. Yeah,
if you like those kind of games, right? Yeah. If you don't, and for many other reasons. But anyway, so I got it and got in just under the wire, and I've been playing it. I sound whatever. Like I don't really know who's who and what's what, but it sure is fun. I'm having a great time. You know, and I'm navigating like this big dispute between two factions, you know, where we're trying to mediate, we're trying to mediate a big dispute between two, you know, planets or beings. And that's one. And then there's another, you play as basically two different characters with two stories that I'm sure interact. You're the brand new first officer in one of the series, one of the storylines. And then you're also like a young, sort of a young, engineer in the other one. And I'm just having a great time with it. It looks great. I mean, it's not like going to win, I think, any awards for sound and visuals, but I think it looks great. It sounds great. It's it appears to be very true to the subject matter. Like it treats it seriously, but I wouldn't say it doesn't take itself too seriously. There have been a couple of moments that it's clearly telegraphed, you know, like something very bad is going to happen to this character as she very happily walks out, you know, of the room on her way on a dangerous mission, you know. But like, I'm having a blast with it. And again, I just love these kinds of games so much. And anytime I get to play one, it goes back to when I was a little kid reading the Choose Your Own Adventure books. I just always loved them. That whole vibe of being able to sort of interact and do it, play games like this is my favorite. So it's
cool.
Great. Super fun.
Excellent. Got anything else?
That's my list of what I've been playing.
Okay. That was a good list.
Thank you.
I've been playing a few different things this week as well, and I know a couple of these I'll be talking about again with CJ next week because I know he's playing a couple of these as well. But I'll start with one of the oldest ones that I was playing this past week. So as I've mentioned before, I stream 3 nights a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on Twitch TV. And on Thursdays, I've been kind of going through my old consoles. And this past week, I decided to play Mortal Kombat 2 for the 32X. But I played it on the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection because, let me tell you, my skills have atrophied a lot, a lot in Mortal Kombat. And I'm starting to think that I only really played it multiplayer back in the day anyway, but I plugged in my original Mortal Kombat 2 cartridge in the 32X, put it down to the lowest difficulty, could not beat the first round.
Really?
Oh, man. So I went and looked it up actually, and apparently I think this is true of all the home versions, maybe even the arcade version, is that game, the AI reads your inputs, so it reacts with like unnatural speed to everything you do.
So it cheats.
So it cheats, but if it's an arcade game, it's supposed to cheat.
Right. Yeah. I don't even. Yeah.
So with the Legacy Collection, of course, they had the 32X version on there, but they have a separate setting where you can lock the AI at a certain level, so it will never progress. As you progress through the game, the fights don't get more difficult. I was like, that's perfect for me. I set it to 0. I still struggled, but I made it through a few different players. That was my favorite version of Mortal Kombat 2 back in the day, the 32X version. I thought it looked great. It played great. It was funny because while I was sitting there playing it, I was like, man, just for the hell of it, we should check out the Genesis game, because I remember the Genesis game not looking very good. I was wrong. The Genesis Mortal Kombat 2 actually looked pretty damn nice. I think I must be thinking more about Mortal Kombat 3. The Genesis version of Mortal Kombat 3 was terrible. But yeah, I mean, man, Mortal Kombat 2. There's like talking about earlier on, you talking to your son about Nevermind. Like, to me, that's a game that's sort of in that same realm where if you weren't there, you just don't understand how much everybody was playing that game. I mean, everybody. You didn't need to be a fighting game fan. Everybody was playing that game. Yeah, and I try to explain that to, tell my kids stuff like that, and it's like they just don't get it, right?
And there's
same thing with like NBA Jam.
Right. I was going to say that, but then I was going to say, then I told myself, you did enough sports, Rich, enough with the sports. So
no, I mean,
thank you for saying it for me, but that was the same thing. Non-sports fans loved NBA Jam.
Everybody I knew played NBA Jam, and I did not. My friends were not sports gamers.
Right.
Like, we just all played it.
It's just a great game. A great game is a great game, no matter what genre you like or don't like. If it's a great game, and that game was great game, and probably the best way to, make somebody feel great about playing a game. Because you tap a couple buttons and all of a sudden your favorite player is flying through the air.
Yeah.
And jamming the ball home. You're like, man, look at me. I'm the man.
Exactly. Midway had something. They had something in the mid 90s, man. They were doing it right. So moving on from that, another game that I checked out this weekend, I checked this out. Because it looked interesting, but we have a listener, Ken B, who suggested that I play this. So I did, and he actually picked up the tab on this, which was nice of him. So it's a game called Mixtape.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this is from, what's the developer's name? Beethoven and Dinosaur is the name of the developer. I have no idea what Beethoven and Dinosaur has done before. CJ does. But it's like a coming of age story, kind of in the vein of John Hughes. It reminds me a lot of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in the way that the story is told. But you basically play as this character, Stacey Rockford is her name, and her two friends, Van and Cass. And I believe they're high school graduates. And they're just teenagers getting ready to start their lives, right? One of them's getting ready to go off to university. One of them's getting ready to fly off to New York to try to get into the music industry. And one of them is just sort of this, I don't want to call him a stoner, because they don't really say that that's what he is, but he just doesn't want to leave this little town they're in. And it's all about them spending their final night together before one of them jets off to New York. And it's all told via a playlist, a mixtape. So all the music in here is licensed. It's all from the 70s, some from the 60s, some from the 80s. It takes place in the 80s, I believe. the game itself. But it's a really interesting way to tell the story, and I wish I could find the list of the songs, because the song selection
Actually,
is
don't say it. Don't
something
say
else.
Because I'm a
Yeah.
music guy, and I need to play this game for no other reason than the music. Because if music is a big part of what a game is about,
Right.
I feel like I should, just as somebody who loves music, I'm going to give it a shot, whether I like that kind of music or not.
Right.
Doesn't.
So it's linear, right? Like it's
I love that.
the chapters are based on the track numbers.
Nice.
And so like very, very, and like I said, it reminds me of Ferris Bueller in that like very regularly, Stacy will look at the screen. Well, every time she introduces a song, she looks at the screen, tells you why she chose this song.
Nice.
And it's always linked to like flashbacks of their recent history and stuff like that, their friendship, that sort of thing. Like the time they broke into an abandoned amusement park, or the time they ran from the cops after they raided a party they were at, like stuff like that, right? And when they first met each other and all that sort of thing. It's very sappy. It's very John Hughes. It's the best way to describe. There's no other way to describe it. It's a very John Hughes movie vibe.
Well, you're not saying anything that is making me not want to play it. So
right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to give this a shot. I'm ready.
What I loved about it was I was playing it on the PlayStation 5, and my youngest came home. She was at a sleepover. It's on Xbox Game Pass, by the way. If you're a Game Pass guy, it's there.
Yeah, that's how I'm playing.
I wish I'd looked up before I bought it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm playing it on PlayStation. I'm sitting here last night, and my daughter, it was the night before. My youngest, my 13-year-old, had been out with some friends, and she came home, and so I'm sitting here playing it, and she's watching, and she goes, "What is this?" And I just told her what it was, and she sat there and watched me play it for like an hour, and she started playing it herself today.
Nice. That's cool.
But she told me too, like she said, like, "Don't play this when I'm not here. Like, I want to be here while you're playing this." I was like, "Okay, sure,
I can do that.
Cool.
Only for you. Only for you. No one else. I would give this, but I'll do that for you. Yeah,
it doesn't happen very often.
That's my point. Exactly. Like, okay,
yeah.
for you, because all that means is that now you get to spend time with her. Boom,
right.
You're in.
Yeah, okay, I won't play it.
Won't play it. Talk, young lady. Let's go. I want to play.
But I will say there's been a little bit of a backlash I've found. And actually, I think CJ, I know CJ said he's not going to play this because he played their previous game and said he wasn't really crazy about it. But I've seen a little bit of negativity around this. And I will say I do agree with the sentiment. It's not much of a game. There are mini games. It's a collection of mini games. It's a walking simulator with mini games in it. But the mini games don't. They're there to be experienced, not to be beaten.
Again, you're not saying anything that is not. I'm more and more inclined to enjoy this game the more you're talking about it.
It's
because I don't need every game to be a game. In fact,
exactly,
the more games that aren't games, I think the more I'm willing to give them a shot and play, because I've already got enough of the regular games to keep me going.
Yeah.
From now until eternity, whether it's the sports games that come out every year that I play, or the vampire crawlers, and then next it's replaced, and then next, just whatever I'm playing for the next week or month or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So, but that's just it. I mean, I do. It's a valid criticism. It doesn't affect me, but I get it. Right. Because the mini games are there to set the atmosphere, and I think they do a great job. And again, where you're saying you're going to play it, I'm not going to get too into detail about it, because it's definitely one of those things that needs to be experienced. If you're interested in this type of thing, you want to go into it blind, just because it'll have bigger impact. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm not sure how long it is. I thought I would actually be finished it before we recorded, but I'm not. And I think it only takes place it's really taking place over one day, as far as I can tell. So I'm sure I'm getting close to the end of it. But yeah, it's on Game Pass. If you like Hughes movies, definitely worth checking it out. And even if it's not, if you don't get it on Game Pass, it's not very expensive, I don't think.
And I'm so happy that I don't know the music, because I just music. I love like many, many, many people do. Love music. I play music regularly. I listen to music with my son all the time. We talk about music all the time. So like this being a music oriented game and me not knowing what songs yet, I better get my butt to this game soon because
maybe you should play it with your son.
Maybe it's possible. You know, it depends what the music is because he's a giant snob now with the music. He, you know, like you know, like any 18 or 19-year-old is when they're, you know, 18 or 19 years old and they have strong opinions about music. And I mean that in the most loving way because I'm still a snob to this day with music, you know, so, you know, pot calling the kettle black, you know what I mean?
One of the things that I love, I'll get back to it because you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. Well, when we were talking about you and your son going and checking out vinyl and stuff like that, I have been foisting my musical tastes on my kids,
of course,
my whole life, and not saying like you have to listen to this, but I mean, I'm the same way. I like to listen to music,
yes,
yeah, especially driving. When I'm to me, that's when you drive, you listen to music, and Spotify is what I use, and you know, so. But I have tracks on my Spotify playlist that are there because of my father.
Sure,
because my father. Do you remember the what was it? Is it Time Life? There used to be you could get series of cassettes.
Oh yeah,
right, which were like from the 60s and 70s, and I think it was. Maybe it wasn't Time Life, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
our parents' generation had these, and actually,
I had some of them.
You have them, yeah. But you know, like we used to
have, but did have at one time some of these kinds of things.
Well, I remember. So when we were kids, one of a regular trip we'd take every year because we're on the East Coast, we would drive down to New England. Right, we go to Maine, New Hampshire, we go to Mount Washington, we go to Santa's Village, we go to Six Gun City, and all these things, and various racetracks because that's what my father loved to do was go watch auto racing, and he had these tapes were running entirely. So like you know, I have very fond memories of and have some of these songs on my playlist, like oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of the songs now. One of them's by Jay and the Americans. Brandy is one of the songs. Actually, what's funny is, yeah, it's funny because I'm such a sap. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the soundtracks of those movies are my father's soundtrack.
Amazing.
Like that's one of the reasons I adore, because that second movie actually starts with the song Brandy, which was one of my dad's favorite songs.
Yeah, man.
And anyway, that's why they're on there. And actually, when my dad passed away 7 years ago now, we were cleaning out his apartment. I found one of those old cassette holders, and it was just filled with these tapes.
Yeah.
And anyway, but the whole reason I'm bringing it up, when you talked about with you and your son and how some of your musical taste has been sort of imprinted onto him.
Oh yeah,
I see that happening with my kids too. Like they don't want to listen to my playlist,
right?
But they've created their own playlists, which are like 50% songs from my playlist.
Absolutely.
Which I love. It's fantastic. Awesome. And I've somebody on the channel saying it was Columbia House. You're right, it was Columbia House. But anyway, sorry, just throwing that out there.
I don't know. So because as far as I can tell, you know, from listening to the show, Greg, you live somewhere close to Greenland. You know, you're way up there.
We're close. Yeah, so we're close.
I don't know what bands make it, you know, to that part of the ozone. But one of the other cool things that's happening is I am getting to go to several really interesting concerts this summer with my son. So that's that to a whole new level, because now when you go see some of these acts live, you know, and these are songs that you've been listening to, you know, with your kids for that long, and then you see them live, you know, like that's really cool. My son and I were seeing Spoon, who is
nice.
You know, if anybody out there knows Spoon, you love Spoon. They're just one of the all-time great American rock and roll bands. And everybody who's listening has heard Spoon, whether they know it or not, but they're amazing. But we're seeing Queens of the Stone Age, and we're seeing the Foo Fighters.
Wow.
We're seeing the Black Crowes, and we're seeing Jimmy Eat World, and we're seeing Weezer. So like,
man,
the whole music thing now that he's old enough to like go to stuff, and like now I'm just like, well, hey, let's take advantage of it. Let's go see these.
And the best part is those bands aren't in their prime anymore, so their tickets aren't crazy expensive.
Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. You know this better than anybody, Greg. It doesn't matter what you want to do. They're
It's all expensive.
It's so much money.
Yeah.
But
enjoy your $10 drinks. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other great thing about, the kids being the age that they are now and having that musical connection. Because you don't realize it if you're not looking out for it. You might not realize just how much great live music there is, especially during the summer. Everybody just gets out there and tours in the summer. There's a lot of really interesting acts that are playing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I mean, again, I think you would probably enjoy this. You should check out Mixtape.
There's only so much time in the day, Greg, but I got to do this. But Vampire Crawlers, I can't. But
just get on your treadmill and play, bro. Like,
that's true. I could do that. It's true. If it's not really a game, it might even be like a perfect treadmill game.
Yeah. I think you're right. You just got to make sure you're able to hear it. You got to be able to hear it.
I did literally just win the Super Bowl with the Colts yesterday. So
there you go. See?
It's a great opportunity to start something new.
You play Alabama when you're playing NCAA?
No, because you're given a team. You can't be one of the top teams. You got to be one of the mid-tier teams.
Does it hurt that you're not playing as Alabama?
No, because college football has changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Like it's changed a lot in the last 5 years, but especially in the last 10 years, it's changed a lot. And so while I still will always love Alabama football, both my parents are graduates, they are alumni, right? So I was brought up as a University of Alabama fan. You only have so much mental capacity to spend on really knowing what's going on in so many things in the world. And as college football has changed, I've sort of lost like 18% of that,
Really?
And so I'm playing as Pitt, and it's just been very, there's no, I have no connection to Pitt whatsoever. But playing as Pitt now for the last 7 seasons, I'm now very interested in Pitt this next college football season.
Okay.
Coming up.
There you go. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say, I mean, sports fans are, it's short for fanatic, and you Americans and your football fanaticism.
We like it a lot.
But nothing comes close to the level of fanaticism I see for NCAA football.
Yeah.
People have their teams, and that, they bleed those colors, baby.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Again, son of 2 University of Alabama graduates. Before I knew anything sports wise, I knew you loved Alabama football and you hated Auburn. That's what I knew. And I didn't even know what Auburn was and why.
You just knew you hated it.
I don't know why I had such a grudge with those people. I'm sure they're very nice people, but I was taught to hate them.
Stop humanizing them, Rich.
From a very, very young age. So, it was a strange time. But yeah, so still love Alabama football, always will. But I haven't been quite as passionate of a college football fan as I have been in the past. But you can say the same thing with a lot of stuff, like you and I have talked about. I love sports, and I'm watching the NHL, the Stanley Cup Finals, in the NBA. But until this time of year, I'm not paying a lot of attention to the NHL, especially when the Devils are terrible, like they were again this year. The Flyers had a nice run, but
Penguins went out in the first round, so I kind of lost. I'm doing something that I never thought I'd do, and that's to say I'm cheering for the Canadians, which I hate.
You're Canadian.
Hate the Canadian. I hate the Canadians.
They could beat,
but I'd love to see a Canadian team win. I'd love to see the Canadian team win the Stanley Cup again.
It's been way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah, Edmonton should have gotten one in the last couple.
Yeah, Edmonton finds a way to screw up all the time.
Spoken like a true Canadian.
There are still Maple Leaf fans. I don't get that either. But anyway, talk about self-flagellation. Anyway, so moving on. I have a couple more games here, and we're 20 minutes away from our time limit.
Oh, good. I thought we were close.
He's going to be in here browbeating us. So 2 more games that both came out, I think, this week, or at least general release this week. One of them is the new Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Steam keeps telling me to buy that game every time I turn on Steam.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn good.
Nice.
It's been a while since I love the Lego games, but there's been a lot of Lego games and they're really well made, but they all play the same. And so it's been a while since I played one. So I was pretty excited about this one because I love the idea of what they've done here, where they've mashed up the Batman universes here. So, like you're not just playing through like at first when they announced it, I thought this is what it was, where you play through like a Lego-ized version of, say, the Burton Batman from 1989, and then Batman Returns, and then et cetera, et cetera. But what they've done is they've created a story by mashing up elements of like the Burton films, the Schumacher films, the animated series, the Nolan series, the Batman.
Is there
kind of mashed it all together?
Any of the 60s TV show with Adam West?
A little bit.
Okay.
So all right. Not much, but a little bit.
I'll take it. That's the Batman that was the first Batman I ever saw in my whole life.
Me too. I remember watching those. Gosh. That was Batman when I was a kid. That was
Batman. Bingo.
Yeah. See, again, you weren't there.
You don't know.
You didn't realize what a big deal the Burton Batman was, because up until the Burton Batman, comic book movies and TV shows were goofy little kids shows.
Yep.
Yeah. Like the 60s Batman, which was great.
Absolutely.
Anyway. But yeah, so it starts out as a very sort of standard linear Lego game, but then when you finally become Batman, which takes a while, you're sort of thrust into this open world, and it actually has a lot of similarities to the Arkham games. So you're driving around in your little Lego Batmobile, and stopping crimes and stuff like that, but also getting into levels. Like I just went through Club. What the heck is it called? It's from the Batman. It's a Falcone's nightclub where the Penguin is and everything like that. I forget the name of it, but anyway, I just went and did that level, and then I just went and found a Riddler level. And again, like the Riddler character seems like he's based on Edward Nygma from like the animated series, but the aesthetic was very much like the Schumacher Batman Forever movie, like that, the green neon and everything like that. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and I definitely going to talk more about this next week with CJ, because I know he's playing it as well. I will say that once we got out into the big open world, it definitely slowed the game down a lot. And I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that yet, but I am liking it so far, and I am liking the combat, because again, the combat's really similar to the Arkham games, the old Arkham games that I love so much, and they had great combat. It is kind of funny to watch your little Lego-ized Batman doing these what seem like they should be really intricate moves, but he has these short little stubby appendages. It does look a little bit silly, but they really play with it too. I mean, the big thing that Traveler's Tales has going for it is, and they've never lost this great sense of humor that they have. So like, your special attacks can be everything from him connecting a bat branded balloon to somebody's belt, so he floats up into the air, and then he shoots the balloon and it pops and he falls apart, or hits them with a frying pan or something like that. Like, it's all very tongue-in-cheek. I actually loved, I think when you're doing training and that frying pan move happens, it's just a frying pan, but after he actually becomes Batman, the frying pan has a bat symbol on it. So yeah, just little stuff like that. But anyway, really enjoying it. Definitely have a lot more to say about it next week. And then the other game that I started playing this week was Forza Horizon 6.
Thank God. I was hoping you were going to say that. Well, no, I'm serious. I was hoping you were going to say that, because I feel terrible because I haven't played it. But I'm glad you did, because I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
I'm very torn about it, to be honest. So the first 3 Forza Horizon games I absolutely adored.
Amazing games. Greg, right. I don't know if you remember, but regularly you and I would talk on the Press Row podcast about racing games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget it. I think it was about Forza Horizon 4, but it had recently come out, and you and I talked on that episode, and you were like, dude, I can't believe what they did, but they completely changed this game, and I don't like it. And
Yep.
I was shocked to my core. And it turns out you nailed it. And I have been not out on, because I played all of them, but 4 changed the trajectory for me so much on this franchise.
Well, I'm here to tell you that 6 didn't fix it.
Dang it.
They said they were going to, and I'm sure if you really tore it apart, you could find that. To me, the problem with those games since 4 has been that the progression is all over the place.
Right.
So like the first few games, I'm thinking especially the first one, and I have such fond memories of the third one, the Australian one, where it felt like you were dropped in. I am totally cool with the car culture thing. I am totally cool with every character being a caricature of like basically an influencer. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Yeah. You're at a music and car festival.
Sure.
There's neon everywhere. That's fine.
Yep.
Totally fine with it.
Absolutely.
Doesn't bother me. In fact, I liked it.
Yeah.
I it's a good vibe.
It is.
Right.
Totally. Agreed.
But the way it used to be was like you get there and they had this wristband system, which still exists, where it's like, go do these events. And then we're going to slowly branch out over not a gigantic map, but big enough.
Right.
And kind of like what you said with Spider-Man, you're driving along and every now and then you might get a call, say, hey, like I heard there's a barn find or something. Like there's a car in a barn around here somewhere in this area. And, or, there's a speed trap over here. So just while I'm on my way somewhere, like I get some points. And we were definitely in that era where, I'd say Call of Duty does this really well as well, where they were giving you like the little dopamine hits, right? It's like, and especially with the Xbox Live setup where it's like, you've discovered a new road and then you get a little thing on the bottom of the screen that says like, Rich has discovered 50 roads. You've discovered 49. You know what I mean? Like the person you're closest to, and this is great. And they still do all that. And that's fantastic.
Remember how addictive it was to be chasing your friends in real time for records on various laps and Forza and Forza Horizon and all the competitions.
And I mean, the best. Microsoft racing games have done that really well since like Project Gotham Racing.
Yes.
2.
Amen.
But anyway, it's gone with 4. It went overboard. Like, it felt like the map, you gradually worked your way around the map. You got into different biomes. Again, they did that wonderfully, especially with the Australian one. And then it felt like with 4, we became slaves to what I refer to as free-to-play mechanics. And it's not to say that they're charging you for everything. That's not what I'm getting at. But like, I turn on a free-to-play, the latest one I'm playing, it's so ridiculous. It's Disney Solitaire. Leave me alone.
Why is that ridiculous?
But like when I turn on that game, right?
First of all, not ridiculous, Greg.
Right.
Not. Absolutely not.
I'm going to do it right now though, because this is to prove a point. Hang on a sec here.
There's a reason they invented the word guilty pleasure, man.
Right. So, okay, like first of all, I got to go through one thing. There's second thing they're selling me. The third thing they're selling me. I'm on this screen now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different things I'm collecting. All on timers, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like with Forza Horizon 4 and 5 and now 6, we're a slave to that, where it's like, there's this event happening over here. Here's all your friends. There's a level of FOMO that I have a visceral reaction to. It's honestly probably not as bad as I'm making it out to be, but it bothers me so quickly. And like, we've added in spins. Like, you've earned a spin, and we've added in seasonal events. And it feels like because of that, the idea of progression is gone. At least gradual progression is gone, because we have to move so fast to get to the FOMO bits. You know what I mean? Like if they let the game progress at I think a level that would feel natural, it would take some players so long to get to the point where they'd be able to throw up 12 different notifications and all these different things they have to collect. And, they've got 3 or 4 different types of points, plus credits, plus experience, and it's just like, I went on the other day and I'm playing for like 5 minutes and I had control taken away from me 3 times to show me this new thing that I should be chasing or unlocking, or you know what I mean? Like I looked in my garage after I played for an hour and I had 30 cars. I didn't even know I had about 15 of those cars. I just had them.
Well, one of the many questions I have for you is Forza has been good, from my recollection, of being good to those who have extensive collections of Forza.
Yes.
And I think I have every Forza.
I definitely got some bonus cars because of that.
Forza Horizon. So
yeah.
I think, right? I know I've played them all and I purchased all of them until I didn't have to purchase them anymore.
Right.
So it sounds like they are probably still generous.
And they are. And I feel silly complaining about it in a way. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that none of it means anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, like I have hypercars in my library, in my garage now, and I've played for 10 minutes. Like I make me earn. I'm not saying that everything has to be a Souls-like. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it doesn't mean anything.
Right. So, and then my next question is, and I'm not trying to sound trite, not at all, but like, what if you just don't care? Like what if you just push your way through to, okay, here's a spot on a map where I can go. Okay. And now I'm racing and now I can race and I can see it's just a 3-lap thing. It's a 1. Okay. I came in first, 9th, 12th. Okay. Well, at least now here's the thing that I can do. And if you just push through everything, can you just go do that?
Yes. And that's why I'm saying, it's not a reasonable gripe. It's just, it's a visceral reaction I have to this stuff. It's a good game. It's a good game. And if you can do what you just said, and when I'm playing it, that's what I try to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm just going to go do this thing and I'm going to find the joy in
this. Just get to the race, man.
Find the joy in this. Exactly. Because there's joy in this. There is.
Yeah.
But I find myself so nostalgic for the first 3 games because they were, I don't even know how to describe. It kind of reminds me, I don't know, maybe I want to say like Outrun in a way where it's just like, I'm just enjoying this. I'm just vibing. I'm going into a race. I'm driving around a cool map. I'm discovering things, but I feel so bombarded by this game as I did with 4, as I did with 5, right? There's something, it just triggers something in my brain where it's like, I don't want this to be this way. And I know I just need to ignore it and I'll have a good time with it. But I just have trouble getting there. And I have had trouble getting there since 4. And they made a big deal about fixing progression this time around. And they didn't. They just didn't. So I think it's made it even worse because I went in with a different expectation. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like I want to like it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's good.
And the setting is great. But
it's Japan, right?
Boy, oh boy. Yeah.
Is it Japan like Tokyo? Is it countries?
Yeah, Tokyo's kind of like the main hub. Okay. And then you're out into like different biomes and countryside and stuff. And it really looks nice. It's really well made. But boy, I don't know, man. I feel like such a grumpy old man, but it's just that I can't get past it for some reason. So, yeah.
I haven't. I actually installed it today, but I haven't actually played it.
It's good. Just be prepared to get, like I said, like I turn on that game and I have to sift through 5 menus and I'm collecting, in Forza, like collecting experience, collecting credits, collecting cars, collecting Horizon points, collecting Discover Japan points. Like even then I'm already pissed off. I don't want it. Like,
so this is, and I'm having fun with you here, but this sounds more like this is an emotional thing with you at this point.
It absolutely is. That's what I'm saying. It's not rational. It's not rational at all. And like we have Inferno online.
But saying it's emotional, I know by definition means it's not, but there's a very rational reason for your emotion, right? You're getting emotional because you're like, I have a very rational request, which is I would like to have a map. I would like to point to a spot on the map, and I would like to go to that spot in style and then race.
Again, I have a strong emotional reaction to Icon vomit on an open
Right.
world map,
And you
and the
have
Forza
for
Horizon
many years.
games are the worst offenders.
Many
The
years.
worst offenders. Yeah.
This is not new. This is not
Yeah.
breaking news with Greg Seward. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I have time to ask you a question?
We're going to have to be quick because I'm going to have CJ breathing down my neck here in about 2 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Look, there in the chat, CJ just said no. Ask me a question.
Wow.
CJ doesn't control us.
Did iRacing take over video game racing?
No, because I don't even do iRacing anymore.
I thought you did.
No, it's yet another subscription I don't want to pay for.
Oh, I could have sworn that you were that's where you did your stuff was in iRacing.
GT7, all GT7.
Oh, I know you do GT7, but I thought you did iRacing too. Okay.
I'm trying to get back into it, but no, I haven't.
Got it. Because it seems to me like there's not nearly as many racing games as there were.
No, there aren't.
Before iRacing kind of became what it became.
Listen, Rich, I'm not going to do the whole spiel. I am going to do the whole spiel. I'm going to do the whole end of show spiel. So give me a minute.
Take your time.
That's our show for this week. Thank you so much for listening. I don't know what CJ says here, but he says to go to the Discord and go to our shiny new player1podcast.com, where you can check out old episodes. You can sort through by themes, by guests, I think, and all that fun stuff. It's great. Go check it out. If you want to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on youtube.com/P1Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Just follow our Blue Sky account to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it's every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So please join us, won't you? And if you like what we heard, and how could you please head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast and throw a few shekels our way. It helps us keep the lights on, helps us pay our guest hosts like Rich here. I'm just kidding. We're not paying him. But it does help us keep going, doing all the stuff we normally do. And if you're a subscriber of the $5 tier,
cheap.
Thank you, Rich. You gain extra special access to a weekly bonus episode. We record it live after this, where we play games or Crackwise, do all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. I already know we have a game tonight, and I already know that we have a special guest player by the name of Phil Theobald Esquire. So please join us, won't you?
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting. I'm wrapping this up fast because CJ's telling me that I got to wrap it up fast. Rich, thank you so much for stepping in. It's always a pleasure hanging out and talking with you. Always an enjoyable experience. And I know this was very last minute, so I really do appreciate you coming on here tonight.
You're welcome. You guys are my favorites in the world. I love the show. Long shall it live. Thank you. It's always my pleasure, anytime and every time.
Thank you. And thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in this week. And CJ, hope you feel better, and we'll be talking at you next week. Good night, everybody.